Hey guys, so we wanted to take a minute to walk you through this new lesson preparation template to show you some different elements of it that might be different than the lesson plan templates in the past and show you the connections we're trying to draw from the instructional map. So really what we're looking for in here is how are your students doing things, or how are you trying to get the content across rather than just listing what content is being covered. As well, we wanted to make it as user-friendly and that a lot of the information you are pulling directly from your instructional map, so it really becomes an aid and not something that's overwhelming. So when we're looking at this first section, these are all things that would come directly from your instructional map, and that's why they say pull from instructional map, right? So if we're looking at this first one, let's look at standards. Well, again, we can go to our instructional map, and we can look for the standard for that day and just copy and paste it. Again, same for that I can statement. We can come back over here, go to the section over here, and we're looking for the I can statement that you've already listed and already done here. Additionally, that lesson rigor and assessment, right? That's the lesson rigor here, and the assessment from over here. So those are things you should already have for all of your lessons, so it shouldn't be too overwhelming. You can just grab them from the instructional map and put them in the lesson preparation template for you. So now getting down to this part, first off, you can see it says add or subtract rows as necessary. Depending on how you're teaching, you may have a lot of different elements of going on. You might only have a few, so just use it as best fits for you. Ask what type of element are you doing? First, second, and third. Warm up, is it a teacher-led thing? Is it an activity? Is it an assessment? Is it breakout room? Whatever it is, think about the approximate time you want for that. And then if you have a resource link, like if your warm up is a video, can you include the link to it there? Or if your warm up is asking them to join GoFormative, can you add the link for that? The content is really asking, what are you covering here, and what's the teacher going to be doing? Are you giving directions? Are you encouraging kids to participate? What's your role in this section? And then the students, what are the students doing? Are they answering a question on their own? Are they discussing in a group? Are they working on a GoFormative individually? What is it? And then the new thing that's really important is the pivot. What we're looking for here, and as you saw in the PD reading, is that we're looking for possible errors from the students. Can we think of a time or a piece that they were probably going to get wrong in this section? Or is there something about this that they're going to struggle with? Maybe you know that the reading section is a little long and that some of them are going to struggle with that. So your pivot is that you've already got ready an audio version of them to listen to for that reading section. Maybe for math, you know that they're going to mess up this section of PEMDAS and that a lot of them are going to do this backwards. So you've already prepared a response for that, right? Or maybe for biology, you know that they're going to get this section of the life cycle mixed up with this other one. So you've already come up with a way to help them remember it correctly. So what we're doing here in the pivot, and you may not have a pivot for every single element, but the idea with the pivot is that you have already thought ahead of probable errors within your class that students are going to have and figured out how the best way to address it is so that they can understand and move forward. And so again, you may not have that for every section, but that's a really important thing to think about. And the more that you plan for that, the better your responses are to those students' needs of what they're not understanding.